Mikel, it's that time of year in England. It's winter,
Yeah.
busy fixtures. So I don't know whether it's a good time or not to ask about your love affair with England, but I want to know about it because you spent more of your adult life here than you have anywhere else.
This is getting serious now.
It's getting serious.
And
How do you feel
my
about
kids
it?
and the family the same. Grateful. You know, we had an incredible time in this country. I always felt really respected, really protected. It's been so inspiring to live in an environment that football is something so powerful and that gives you such opportunities to live the experiences that I left, understanding, you know, the challenges that it brought, but as well, you know, the joy and the beautiful moments that I had here.
Was it an easy transition, and did you find there were cultural differences when you first came that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, there are. Well, it's always the same, you know. First of all is the language, then you go back, okay, the weather is completely different, different habits, different way of thinking, very different style of football to the one that I was used to it. But yeah, I fall in love with it, you know. And sometimes you go somewhere and you feel, okay, it fits me, you know. And some days I need to get out of here. And I felt very comfortable straight away. I felt really welcome, and things started to go well. And yeah.
Why do you think it is that everyone's adopted you so quickly? Because people do, they just take you in and think of you as now one of our own.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that's something that culturally is very powerful, and I wish that a lot of countries could take that on board and make people, foreigners, so welcome like they do in this country.
Can I talk to you about cities then, and the difference of living in different cities? So you've had Liverpool, London, Glasgow for bringing in the UK. How did you find they were different?
Well, the first one, it was Glasgow. It was a big shock, but again, what an incredible city. When you talk about passion and a city is divided by a sport that everybody's in love with, that's Glasgow. You know, I had the best times over there. It was a great step for me to realize the difficulty, the challenges I was going to face one day coming to the Premier League. And then again, the people, it was so warm, and I had a great time there.
Did you pick up on the accent straight away?
Well, that's what I did straight away. It was my first English experience, and I took a lot of things from them. Yeah.
So Liverpool, in contrast.
Liverpool, then it was easier. Again, a city again that is very much divided, but two great clubs with a lot of history, with a lot of rivalry, but in the right way as well. And yeah, I got into a dressing room with a coach and a team that was doing really well at that moment, and it was really easy.
Did you find that all of the talk, taxis, different people, when you're walking around the city, it was always football? I feel like every time I go to Liverpool,
yeah.
no one talks about anything else.
Very intense. Everything was football and music, for the right reasons, obviously. But yeah, what a city, atmosphere. It's amazing, and I had 7 great years there. Yeah.
London, much bigger, very diverse, and you can hide a bit more in London. Do you find that?
Yeah, well, it's been 10 years now, almost. I think on the 20-something, it's going to be 10 years now. So that's yeah, the biggest part of my kids' life, and again, I think we found a place that we are really comfortable. We call it home. My kids call it home. We are really pleased to be here. There is opportunities to do anything that you actually want. You can hide, as you said, something that in Liverpool or Glasgow was a bit more difficult. And at the same time, you know, the chance that I have to manage one of the best clubs in the world.
Would your children say that they're Londoners?
Well, they know where they're born, but they will probably say that they feel really attached emotionally to the city. Yeah.
The other thing that comes with that are the derbies, and you've already mentioned about this city being divided, the rivalry. So talk me through each one and whether you think there's one that stands out in particular. So you've had the London derby, so many here, North London derby in particular, Glasgow, Liverpool. Which one really stands out for you in your memory? Well,
Glasgow was a big shock because obviously, apart from the football rivalry, there is religion, there are other aspects that are involved, and it's unique atmosphere. I mean, both the stadiums is something I haven't experienced before in my life. So good. the North London derby is something, again, because of the feelings I have towards the club and understand the history, something really special that we've been very, very successful as well in the last few years. So some great memories. And the Liverpool one, again, a really special one. When I was at Everton, always the underdogs, so many years without winning against them. We did it when I was there for the first time in many years. So again, some good memories.
How about fan culture, Mikel? Because this country, it is something that you grow up with. You know that home and away, you'll have that cohort of fans that are just going to be staunch and be at every single game. Is it much different to when you were growing up in Spain? Because obviously the fan culture over there is still thriving, but I imagine there are differences.
It is different. I think the passion, the way they connect with their players, here is another layer to it. I don't know what is it. Is it the history? Is it the way they live the game? Is the speed? I don't know what is it, but there is something else. And I think the way they retain certain positive images and the way they respect the ex-players here, there is something that I've never seen in any other country.
There is an appreciation as well for the pyramid in English football, which I imagine from living here, you've got to experience more and more how that props up the rest for you at the very top. And at all costs, people don't want that to be ruined. Can you see historically why that's so valuable to everybody?
Yeah, for sure, and it's great. And I think there are certain habits. There is something related to the history of this game here in this country that has to be maintained, and I think it has to be fought. And it has to be respected, and hopefully it will be that way.
There is no league busier in Europe at Christmas than in England. You've said 10 years, so you obviously love it. Do you like the Boxing Day football?
I love it. I mean, culturally at the beginning, it's a shock. Everybody looks at those dates in a very different way. Here, you are every day in, you have to play in very special occasions. But as well, I think it brings something spectacular, to the game, the attention in the league, and the families and the kids to spend time together, enjoying something that they love.
Do you remember the very first Christmas that you were training on Christmas Day, playing on Boxing Day, and taking all of that?
Yeah, I have a few experiences. I'm playing on New Year's Day, and I'm being the 31st day, and yeah, it was strange sometimes, but you get used to it.
You have got a very busy fixture period coming up now. Does it feel like that's cranked up year on year? Does it feel busier each time?
It does, yeah. Well, there are more games. There are more games with the new format of the Champions League as well. The demands this season have gone even higher, not only the amount of games, but preparation as well. But this is where we are. So every 3 days, full focus, be ready for it, because another challenge and opportunity are coming.
You are obviously used to it now, but what does that mean from a preparation point of view? Do you halve the preparation that you have for each game? Do you do less analysis? Do you do less time at specific skills?
Well, we all have routines, so we all try to maintain certain things that give us comfort, give us security, and make us feel that we are prepared to have to transmit the ideas, the spirit, the energy that the team, we believe, needs to win the game or have the best chance to win it. But yeah, time is an issue, and you have to be very, very efficient with it.
One of the other things that I'm very intrigued about you as a coach is you're looking to other sports to get inspiration and the ideas that you get, Mikel. I mean, first of all, how do you keep coming up with the ideas of getting people to speak to the players, the pickpocketing idea? Where do you get them from?
Just understanding our team, what the needs, what are the margins, what are the possibilities for us to evolve, to be better, more competitive, to be closer to our people, for our staff to have that sense of belonging. There is a lot, and getting to know them. I think the more you know somebody, the more you can offer something exactly what he needs, and this is about making people proud and happy where they are and what they are doing, and then give our best to win full matches, which at the end is the outcome of that. So however you see that cycle and what's happening, in my case, it has to be creative, it has to be different, and every day people have to come here and think, okay, what's up today?
When you did that pickpocketing exercise, did you know which players would not have a clue?
I was expecting all of them to be surprised.
I love that you went down that route. And how about other sports? Like Eddie Jones has done quite a lot with you. You've looked at basketball. Are there other sports on your radar right now that you're keeping an eye on that you think actually we could learn something from them?
Yeah, NFL, obviously. I'm really close with Sean McVay's. Our owners have own the LA Rams, and I have that. I have people in handball, in futsal. Tennis is a big passion of me, badminton as well, and understanding individual collectives are very different, but we have to at the end treat and be obsessed to look after the person, and that's what I'm intrigued of. How can we help them to get the best out of them? And because the temptation as a coach is always to look at the things that they don't have, and we need to really understand when you are demanding to somebody, it's does he know how to do it? The other one is, does he really want to do it? And the one, is he capable of doing it? Because sometimes we ask people to do certain things, but sometimes they don't have any of those three ingredients, or they miss two, but we are still forcing it. It's not going to happen. Accept it, focus on another thing, and move forward.
How do you make the time for that element? Because it is an important part of what you're doing, but I imagine the grind of every day, you've got a lot to get through.
Depends on why you focus. You can focus on the tactic boards 90% of the time, 60, 40, 10, 5. It's your choice. You can focus on the human being, on the person, on the emotional side of that. You can focus on the physical part of that. You can focus on communication. It's your choice. And every game, every moment has different needs, different parameters, and you have to be able to move that dial in the way that you think is the best to help the team.
Meditation has been important for you.
Yeah.
Have you managed to pass that on to the players?
With some of them, but I think it's something very individual. I don't like forcing things. I much rather create context around the spaces that they share, and then allow them to explore it. You know, if I want them to play, I'm not gonna force them to play. I will do something within the context, the space that they have, to have certain elements, and then they can do it if they feel they do, which is organic and is natural, and I think it's much more efficient.
Can you tell us what the mood of the club was like when you first joined and walked through the doors 5 years ago nearly, and your immediate steps that you thought you had to take?
Yeah, well, the first one, obviously, me personally, how I felt, and I was overwhelmed. You know, it was my first big job in the middle of the season, and I knew the difficulty of the situation. But the best one I would describe, coming here and coming into Colney training ground with a lot of familiar faces, big smile and bright eyes in their faces. So that told me, I'm welcome here. They believe that I can help them. So let's move on.
How difficult was the turnover of players? Because there were lots of different reasons, a wide variety of reasons why you were having to rebuild that squad. Some of it was player profile, some of it was disciplinary, some of it was contracts running out. So how difficult was that turnover at the beginning?
Yes, it's challenging. At the end, is you have to observe, you know, because obviously a lot of people has their opinions and their thoughts, but I think you have to give opportunity to people. And again, it's about context. It's generating certain context, generating clarity on what is expected, and then actions, you know. It's great, we want to do that and we want to achieve that, yeah, but what are the actions that we are actually taking to make this happen and focus on that?
There's a quote here that you said very early on, which went quite famous. You predicted in a press conference, this project will go bang. Was there a specific game or a specific moment where that made you think that?
It was the people. It was the people that made me realize that. When I see enthusiastic people that are very capable, that are willing to give their lives to get something done, something good has to happen. We have very intelligent people, we have great ownership, and we had a history and a fan base that is unbelievable. So if we do it, we have a little bit of patience and understand that we're not going to get there probably as quick as we want. I think we're going to be okay.
Finally, step 5 in your plan for this club, to create a dynasty. And are you getting the feeling that a trophy has that snowball effect of more long-term success?
Yeah, it generates belief. Experience that you already have that has been successful helps with the other one. You know, if you maintain everybody on their feet and maintain everybody still willing, it has that effect. So that's what we have to do.
And how long do you think that lasts?
I don't know. It's very specific to individuals because some people are never satisfied, and other people they satisfy very quickly. So it's something to watch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.